Hey everyone, and welcome to this video where I'm going to be going through exactly how I remember and I plan my photography shoot days or sessions. As you can imagine, planning a shoot or a photography session can be semi-difficult, especially if you're planning on hitting multiple locations within the same day or within like a very short time frame. So for example, if you're going to a city and you only have one day to shoot, then it is very, very important that you plan out exactly what you want to do, what shots you might want to take, and how long it might take you to travel in between different bits and pieces. So I'm going to go through the techniques and the tools that I use, and hopefully they help you with your planning as well. So we're going to be talking about two tools today. One is Google Maps and two is Microsoft OneNote. Let's start off with why I use Google Maps as opposed to any other software. And essentially, Google Maps has the feature built in where you can have saved places. You can save places that you may want to go and take photos or do photography, and you can essentially save up to like thousands of these things. And it is super useful. The only downside is if you want to go somewhere very specific, it can sometimes be a little bit difficult to save a specific place in, and so you might have to save somewhere like slightly off of it. However, in big cities and stuff like that, you typically don't have a problem with this, and it's more sort of when you want to go to more rural areas. I'm going to show you exactly how easy it is to actually save a location on your phone, or for example within Google Maps on the desktop as well. It's both exactly the same way. So say for example, if you want to take photos of the Barclays Bank here, I don't know why you would want to, maybe it's the architecture or something like that, but essentially what you would do is you would select it. Oh, they've got horrible reviews. But you would essentially then tap in the bottom right on mobile, save, and then want to go is what I have it as. So essentially you then hit finished, and that's it. You will then essentially never lose that place that you want to go and take photos. And you can see, if I zoom out here, you can see all of the saved places and stuff that I have within, for example, London, and all of the places that I want to go and take photos. Now, this is really useful. So, for example, if you see here, I have the Citizen M London Bankside Hotel. And off the top of your head, you might, why on earth have you got a hotel listed as a place that you want to go and take photos? However, there is a photo of the reason why I wanted to visit, and that is a spiral staircase, which I have a photo of, and you can see here. It may not be 100% obvious why I want to visit this location, and that is where OneNote comes in. So with OneNote, what you can actually do is you can specifically plan trips and stuff like that, and you can expand a little bit more with Google Maps. So within Google Maps, it's obviously great to visualize where you want to go and stuff like that, and also it will help with the navigation going from one place to another, and especially with directions. You do not want to get lost in a massive city, especially if you are on a timescale. And so that's where OneNote comes in very handy. I used OneNote when I planned my trip to Switzerland 2 years ago. Essentially, I had every single minute of my plan of my 5-day trip planned out on OneNote. And it was an absolute lifesaver, which was almost thrown completely into chaos. You know how reliable Swiss trains are. My first train on my first day was delayed by an hour. But luckily I managed to make up some time. I didn't get quite enough time as I wanted to in Bern, but essentially it doesn't really matter. But the tool itself is very useful and very good. So let me go ahead and show you exactly what I had planned for this trip. So again, both of these have mobile applications, which is absolutely awesome and essential if you are on the move. But you can see here from the screen recording that will be obviously besides me, you can see that I have schedule, packing lists, stuff like that. I even have listed locations of the places that I visited. But if I hit schedule, you can see I literally had every single date, explore, or everything like that that I wanted to visit, and absolutely sorted. I even had the general sort of sunrise time and sunset time as well, because obviously you want to hit the hours of really nice lighting too. So you can see here, Twyford. You can see literally how much travel time I have. You can see from and to, and this is also where the Google Maps links in very well. You can actually save links, and so if you hit travel link and then open, you can see that what it does is it literally gives you the route that you want to take, or that you've essentially researched and made sure is the correct route. and it will tell you the time of the train and stuff like that, and it will tell you all of the information that you need to know. This is especially helpful when essentially you can create your own customized routes, especially walking photography routes, as I did here in Bern. You can see that I had an hour and 12 minutes of like a walk. You can also see I've circled there with a 2, a bridge that I wanted to visit, which was slightly off course, but I decided after making the initial map that I wanted to add in, and I just couldn't be bothered to update the screenshot. But essentially you can see, look, an hour and 12 minutes, and it's got these locations in, and also there's a saved link here. You can also see that on the map as well, it says 1 and then it says 2, and these relate to viewpoints and stuff like that. So that's point 1 and that's point 2, viewpoints that I actually wanted to visit as well. So you can save these photos of like inspiration and stuff like that within OneNote, and then view them while you're on the go and know exactly where you want to go. You can see here which is the link, and if I hit and open this link, it will actually load in that walking tour with all of the stops you can see. And you can see, obviously because I'm not in Bern at the moment, but you can see your live location and stuff like that, and you can see all of the steps and previews and stuff like that, so you know exactly which way you need to travel to get these photos. And so again, this might be going way too detailed for some people, but for me this is what I find really, really useful, especially if you want to squeeze every single second out of a trip very, very well. So yeah, you can save walking routes and stuff like that, like I said, and you can even see, look, I've got my saved locations, for example, the the Cathedral of Bern, which is a place that I visited, and you can see again it's a saved location. So this is all stuff that you can do yourself, and you can also track too. You can see here on OneNote I have all my packing lists and everything. I literally have like all of these lists again, and all of these walking routes again, saved photos and stuff like that as inspiration as well. And yeah, it's just essentially something which I find super, super useful. So you can see why these two tools, Google Maps and OneNote, combine really, really nicely to be able to give you incredible planning with your photography shoots. And it's just essentially, so say for example, if you're scrolling through Instagram and you've got a trip to Edinburgh, for example, and you've got a nice photo of Edinburgh in a specific place, you can then find that in Google Maps, save that, and then when you go through to planning your actual trip, you can add it into the plan and stuff like that too. So yeah, it is really, really simple stuff. I think that the planning for me personally did really, really help in terms of boosting, not like how I take photos, but in the way which I plan trips to take photos. It just means that I can get that extra scene in, that extra place, that extra building, you know. And some of these things, although, like I said, with my train delay going wrong, you can never plan for stuff like that. But it does really, really help when doing all of this planning stuff. So yeah, I hope you found that useful. Even if you are not a professional photographer and you just want to take some nice phone pictures and stuff like that, I would still argue that these tools are great. These tools are both free as well, which is very, very good. I'm a little bit cheap when it comes to stuff like this, so being able to save a little bit of cash on planning tools is absolutely awesome. So I hope you found this YouTube video useful. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you're notified next time I upload. I really, really hope that you found some sort of use or learned something new within this video. If you have any questions or concerns, drop them in the comments down below and I will be sure to reply. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and cheers guys.